Okay.
Okay, I'm Natasha and I did geothermal energy. Geothermal energy comes from the heat generated during the original formation of the planet, and it also comes from the radioactive decay of materials. If you look here, there's three different infrastructures for generating electricity. This one primarily uses steam. This one has a heat exchanger fluid, but it runs water through, and this one relies primarily on hot water, but it still generates electricity from the steam produced from it. They all have the turbine and the electrical generator, but they can be used in different infrastructures because at least the horizontal ones, that one's more vertical, but the horizontal ones are able to be used in more flat surfaces, whereas these would be better in hills. Geothermal energy is also a really cheap option in the long run. You're looking at about, if you want high-end materials, it's about $40,000 to $50,000 for putting in the geothermal energy infrastructure, but in the long run, it's way better. And if you look at this graph here, you're going to pay a lot more for electricity, but you're not going to pay as much for heating fuel. And that's because geothermal energy, all of their home heaters and all of their electricity generators are much more efficient. And a lot of people see a 65% reduction in their energy bills after installing geothermal energy. So in the end, if you're planning to stay in your house long time, it's going to make up for it. And then the reason why geothermal energy is more for long-term investment is because they also last longer than conventional ACs and heaters. They can last, heat pumps can last from 20 to 25 years, but the ground loops, which is what you saw in the last loop down here, they can last 50 plus years. Geothermal energy is also found all over the world. This graph shows the installed capacity versus their global potential. So the really red ones have a lot more potential, so the United States over here in Russia. And if you look at this little tiny thing down here, there's 318 gigawatts of potential, but we're only utilizing 6% of it. And then this also shows how many nations are in the process of getting into geothermal energy. And this is the additional capacity under development, and the blue is the current capacity. And as obvious, United States is really up there because we're the country that uses geothermal energy the most. And then this just shows all the different ways that you can use geothermal energy. A lot of places use it for electricity, or they do it for heating spas, bathtubs, houses. And geothermal energy is definitely a long-term investment, but it's way better because it's good for the environment. It doesn't have any direct emissions, and it's cheaper. And there's my sources.